Hi, Dan Bindondi in San Antonio, Texas, standing on a property what used to be called the Federal Reserve. We're live at a protest, and what we're going to do today is going to ask the people in the protest what the government calls terrorists and conspiracy theorists. We're going to question their knowledge on the Federal Reserve. Then later, we're going to go over to the Alamo and question the general public on the same questions about the Federal Reserve. Hi, I want to ask you 5 questions on the Federal Reserve. 1, what is the Federal Reserve?
The Federal Reserve is a private banking cartel that has a charter to issue America's money through debt to our Treasury Department.
It's a government-created cartel that got a bunch of bankers together so they can print paper and steal our wealth.
The Federal Reserve is a private for-profit bank that was started up in 1913.
The Federal Reserve is actually not federal at all. Its origins are as per the 1913 law, which was put through Congress on miraculously a day when most of Congress, probably 80% of Congress, was absent. And it was pushed through as legislation in order to guard or hedge against an economic depression of the type that we had prior.
The Federal Reserve is a private institution that prints money, usually not for interests as Americans, more for foreign banks and I like to say the establishment's agenda. What they do is, like I said, they print money that's backed by nothing. They raise inflation rates. They raise the cost of living for the middle class.
A private international banking cartel.
Basically is a private banking institution that was founded in 1913, and it basically controls our money.
And you just answered all 3 of the first 3 questions. And what year was the Federal Reserve established in the United States?
The Federal Reserve Charter was established on December 23rd, 1913.
1913, one of those 13 unlucky number years.
1913.
1913, I believe.
It was established in 1913.
Is the Federal Reserve a federal or private company?
It's a private banking cartel.
Definitely private.
It's a private company, a bunch of bankers.
Private corporation.
Very much private.
Contrary to most people's belief, just because it says federal, it is not a federal entity at all. It's a private corporation.
And recently, the Fed announced QE3. What is QE3?
QE3 is, it's basically money debasement through the institution of $40 billion a month through the toxic mortgage assets department that's going to be pumped into the American economy.
It's where they're going to print a bunch more bucks that are going to devalue the money you got out here already.
The implementation of more fiat money into the money system that will devalue the dollar as it stands.
As Bernanke has announced, QE3 is actually going to be producing or pumping $40 billion worth of money into the economy every month.
Yes, quantitative easing. I believe they're going to start the process of printing even more money than they've already been printing. And like I said, it's going to only serve to raise inflation rates.
It's basically their failed strategy to try and ease the economic downturn that we're seeing and the devaluation of the dollar.
And final question, could you name 2 of the 3 major banking families that were at Jekyll Island that helped push the Federal Reserve?
Of course, there was the Morgans and the Rothschilds.
Let's see, there's the Schiff family, the Warburgs, the Rockefellers.
Well, there would be the Rothschild family banking, and that would be... J.P. Morgan, I believe, is also owned by the Queen.
The Rockefellers, I believe. I'm thinking the Rothschilds.
Yeah, the Red Skulls, which go by the Rothschild family. J.P. Morgan.
The Rothschilds, definitely. Morgan, as in Chase Morgan Bank.
We just moved over to the Alamo. Now we're going to ask the general public the same questions we asked the people at the end of the Fed rally. Hi, can you tell me what the Federal Reserve is?
No, I cannot.
No, I have no
idea. Not at the moment.
Yes, the central banks.
It's the bank for the government.
It's a bank. It's a bank, a unity.
Do you know what year they were established?
1920.
1800s?
Around 1840.
Well, now I do, 1913.
No, I do not.
I think, was it 1913 or 1915?
1913, yep. Is the Federal Reserve private or federal?
Federal.
Private.
Federal.
It's a federal, but it's private banks.
You would figure it's federal, but more likely it's private.
Federal.
Recently, the federal government announced QE3. It's all over the news. QE3, do you know what that is?
I do not.
A load of bull.
No.
No, actually, I don't.
I have no idea. I haven't heard of QB3 yet.
Last question. Can you name 2 of the 3 major banking families that were at Jekyll Island that helped push along the Federal Reserve in the United States?
I couldn't answer that one.
I'll give you one. Rockefellers.
Like I said, I couldn't give you any of them.
I don't know, actually.
I do not know. Lynch, Merrill, and I don't know, IBC.
No, sir, I cannot.
Was it Rockefellers and Rothschilds?
And as you can see, folks, the terrorist protesters we interviewed are smarter than the general public when it comes to the Federal Reserve. And this is Dan Bindondi reporting for the Infowars Nightly News.